John Bush here at the 2010 Libertarian Party of Texas State Convention, here with Michael Badnarik, the man, the myth, the legend. Just delivered a fiery speech downstairs, really got a lot of people pumped up. It was rather inspirational, and we're going to ask him a few questions about liberty and the revolution that we're fighting right now. First of all, what does freedom mean to you, Michael Badnarik?
It means not having any government involvement. I'm an adult. I can make my own decisions. I'm willing to take the responsibility for my decisions. I don't need and don't want the government helping me, making decisions that it thinks are in my best interest. Only I know what is in my best interest.
Okay. When in life do you feel the most free?
Well, when I'm skydiving is the most free for those few minutes. But there are so many things the government is doing. Driver's license, marriage license, concealed carry permits, raising taxes. They've got so many unconstitutional laws like the Patriot Act, Military Commissions Act, Homegrown Terrorist Act. I don't really feel free very often. And that's why I'm so dedicated to teaching people about the Constitution, teaching people what their rights are, and trying to restore this constitutional republic that we started with.
And on the flip side, what does the word tyranny mean to you?
Washington, D.C. Most of what government does these days is unconstitutional. The Federal Reserve Act has been counterfeiting our money since 1913. The Department of Education has no authority whatsoever to control what our children learn. We have soldiers in 130 countries around the world. We're influencing other governments, influencing other economies. Politically, we're poking other countries in the eye with a sharp stick. And then we're surprised that these other countries are not happy with the United States. We have a right to do national defense, not international offense. We need to bring our soldiers home, to defend the United States and to be here for the holidays.
Sure. Okay, and going on with what I asked earlier, what are some activities or some situations that cause you to feel the least free?
Anytime I get pulled over, they want to see my driver's license, tell me they have all these border checkpoints along the southern states, and I discovered that according to the Customs Service, there is a 100-mile border from the U.S. border. There's a 100-mile path, which is supposed to be a Constitution-free zone. I don't know who came up with that. I don't believe that for a minute. This is my Constitution, it's my Bill of Rights, and I have never authorized anybody to create a Constitution-free zone. The Border Patrol has this all wrong, and that's one of the things that I try to alert people to.
Is there any recommendation you have for somebody when they go through such a checkpoint? I know in Kansas City they actually just started doing driver's license checkpoints, just randomly making sure people have their driver's license. What could you give to the people watching? What would you do, Michael Badnarik, when you go into that situation?
I can give those two one answer. I can tell you what I would do.
I would recommend that.
I really can't. I can't recommend it because what the government does is unconstitutional, and it's dangerous when you try to fight the system. I know the Constitution, I've memorized the Bill of Rights, and I'm willing to take risks. I'm willing to go to jail, I'm willing to suffer tasers and ultimately being shot. But, I'll let them know that they don't have the authority to do that. I can quote the Fourth and Fifth Amendment, remind them that they've taken an oath to protect and defend the Constitution. And you got to play with those events, as they happen. I don't even know what I'm going to say when they pull me over. But I certainly cannot recommend that someone else do that, because you're going to be putting your life and safety in danger. The best advice that I can say is stay, more than 100 miles away from the border. Don't go through the border checkpoints if you can. And because you don't want to get physically involved, you need to get politically involved. Exercise your freedom of speech. Write letters to the editor. Get involved in somebody's campaign. Help us restore the Constitution and eliminate the checkpoints. Not everybody can be on the front line. Not everybody can be a soldier doing hand-to-hand combat with the police. And it's a personal choice. Everybody's going to have to decide what they can and what they're willing to do for liberty.
And in your speech, you echoed a lot of people have different risk levels that they're willing to go to. A lot of people draw the line in a different area. What do you think are some of the biggest factors that contribute to somebody feeling that it's too risky for them to step out and finally just say no? You said that, you know, a lot of people have a high tolerance for tyranny, so to speak. What do you think are some of the factors that contribute to that the most?
Probably the most important factor is having children. I mean, I've never been a parent myself, but I mean, I have friends and I love their children and would physically protect their children. I can't imagine how passionate I would be if they were my children. And so number one is probably having children that you want to protect. I mean, your children will grow up without a parent if you get overly beat up by or put in jail. You may still be alive, but if you're put in jail, you know, you're not much help to your children. So that's probably the first one. And the second one is that people don't believe that the tyranny is as bad. You know, we're in this level of denial. It's like, my country would never do that. You know, okay, maybe the taxes are too high, but, you know, we still have an opportunity to talk this out. We can elect better people. We can put a yard sign out. We can put bumper stickers on. And I think that was a great idea 50 years ago, you know, but, you know, the economy is going to crash. There's going to be a shortage of food. Your neighbors that are not prepared are going to be trying to kick down your door for your last jar of peanut butter. There's going to be what they euphemistically call civil unrest. That's rioting in the streets. I mean, you don't have to worry about the police trying to kill you. You have to worry about people who are unprepared trying to hurt you. But that's going to be what the government uses as justification to send in the troops, and we're going to be in martial law, you know, if we don't fix this. So people who don't believe that it can get that bad or that it is as bad as I think it is, you know, it's like, well, okay, we still have time to do, you know, less, you know, we can still use freedom of speech. We don't have to go to the Second Amendment yet.